Hi guys, so I just bought these new brushes from True Grit something studio. What is it? True Grip Texture Supply. This is their website here. Yeah, I'm gonna try out these brushes, see if I like them more than my other brushes, which I use for watercolor a lot. Here it is, AF brushes. I've talked about these in another video, probably a couple videos. Yeah, I love these brushes for watercolor, you know, like simulation, you know, but we're gonna see if these new brushes are any better than that or if they're pretty equal. So the way that you find them after installing, if you have 5.4 version of Procreate, is you have to go to the library. I'm probably going to combine all of these later, or at least most of them, because I already have a ton of brushes, as you can see. But yeah, so I'm going to probably combine them. I don't need a bigger list of stuff, even though, you know, I just have too many brushes anyway. But regardless of that, yeah, we're just going to try some stuff. I already kind of have a paper texture on here from before, but who knows, I might try the new one too. But I was working on this comic here of, well, not coloring it, I almost said color, but shading it. I might color it later, but you know, if we shade it, it's a good head start. I like to shade it with my watercolory kind of brushes, just because it's fun. I don't know why, but yeah. So let's try some of these in here. Of course, now you choose this time to start playing. Atlas, you were very quiet before, but whatever. All right, you know what? Let's do a whole new picture first, just to try stuff. And I know they said in the video, they gave a tutorial video before about how to use the paper tools. Alright, so here's some of the paper tools. If you want the dimpled background, the background one is going to be the one that's on multiply. So we're already kind of at a default size, as you can see over here. But let me zoom out and just go all over. Alright, and then you're going to choose white and go to the screen one. And also change this brush to dimpled highlight. And it's also at a default thing here. All right, that looks pretty good. How close? Let's do 300. So typically I would be drawing at 300 or 600 DPI, but so. All right, let me make these a group. Do a new layer. Make that outside of the group. And this is what we're gonna actually draw on here. Oh, wait, let me change my brush first. All right, so yeah, there's multiple groups of brushes. This one is stuff for inking or just, you know, line work. They said they made their brushes so that for these ones to feel like you're actually drawing on paper. I guess close up that's pretty good, I see. Again, I didn't buy this for the inking brushes, but you know, it's nice to see how they work. It's interesting. But what I really want to see are these ones, the color ones. So let's just try this out. And partially what I'm looking for is like how fun it is, you know. The AF brushes, they really helped inspire me to just have more fun with my artwork and the coloring process, or even the just shading process. So I'm just seeing how these work. Oh, this is supposed to be like more so like a blender. Let me just try a random one. Okay. Pretty good there. Interesting. Let's see how the blender one works. So let me switch my library. I'm just gonna be using all of this. Let's do classic soft. Blend this pretty well. You know, pretty traditional-ish blending. Let's try another brush. A different color. Now I'll go back to my comics so we can do like kind of like a practical look to things. Okay, this one's pretty nice. Let me go back and compare it to my AF brushes right here. Okay. Just trying to see how they compare. Let's try this one. And, you know, some of it you may not be able to get the feel for until you actually have them. That's why I thought I needed to get them, just to actually see if I like them first. Because there are some other brushes I have, watercolor brushes, that I just don't use anymore. About like probably like 3 or 4 packs before I got the AF brushes, and now that I have the AF brushes, I barely use those other ones anymore. So I'm basically seeing if these new ones are going to be a replacement for the AF brushes, or like, you know, an addition. I probably won't ever stop using them, but at least an addition to it. All right, I like this cloudy one. This is like a more thinner type of brush for it. It's okay. All right, let me change the color again. Soft. Okay, that one's nice too. Interesting. Let me see how it looks when you change these. You can like barely tell. See, you really zoom in, that it's even changing. Well, that of course you could tell the multiply layer, but the screen one is hard to see. Let me see if I put it to divide, maybe. Sometimes this one is stronger. Nope, not that one. Not today. All right. Oh, well, that's a little probably too strong. We probably need to lower the opacity on that one. I mean, if you want a really strong contrast, I guess you can use that one, but whoa, I didn't mean to do that. But yeah, it's fine. All right, let me change it back to screen. That was the one they suggested to use, but hey, you can do whatever you want once you buy them, you know, it's yours. Let's try this blue one. Oops, don't want to do that. Not yet, at least. Oh, I like this one. Just feels nice, you know. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Let's try some of these wash ones. Ooh. This one feels more like this top AF brush one that I was using before. Also, you know, they're saying too, you can change how they work. If you click it and then go to rendering and go to the blend mode, if you want to change it to normal, you know, that'll give you a kind of different experience. Instead of, you know, being like right on top of it, of like, you know, the layer you already did, it'll like, instead of it looking like, you know, you're layering on top like multiply, it'll just kind of be blending a little bit more. I kind of like that. I feel like that simulates to wet on wet a little bit more to me, you know. And then if you want to make it more traditional watercolory look, you know, to have a traditional watercolory look, you can, you know. But I like the option of being able to look like it's blending in a little bit more. But anyway, let's try this one. This one is grainy. Oh, okay, it's a little more texture. When you zoom in there, all right. I like that one. So far, I like them. I'm impressed. I will probably use this in addition to the AF brushes. Probably not a complete replacement, but I do like them. We'll see how time tells. But yeah, I like them. Let me erase some of these. There we go. But yeah, it feels nice. Doesn't feel like you just have a Procreate brush that has texture, you know. It actually feels good. Like the softer you press, you know, it kind of feels like, I don't know, kind of like you're holding a real brush, sort of. Gravity wash. I don't know what that is. Oh, I guess you have to really press hard to make it show up. But that's cool. It makes you be able to have a really light touch, or not light touch. Let me try different colors. Okay, that's cool. I like that one. I want to try new layers of this. It's a texture thing. All right, let's do cold press background. That one, this one's gonna be black. Okay. Lay it on there. Then for this one's white. Gotta press the highlight version. Well, that's cool. They come with these different textures. There's also like other textures that they just give you. So you could do that too. Let me see what this one looks like. Okay, that's nice. Kind of pre-rendered in there. Let's do a different color. It kind of looks weird. Oh, interesting. Oh wait, I'm still on the that one. I want to do an actual brush that's made for color. That's cool. Oh yeah, they have these extra ones too, if you want to do little effects and stuff. Ooh, interesting. And also the thing they mentioned in the tutorial video is that you can change the grain size. You know, you might have known this already. But like if you want to give it a slightly different, well, we don't want it to look like that. It looks too much like a pattern. But if you want to give it a slightly different look when you're doing different layers and stuff, you know, you can change the size of this. For example, oh, wait, it's on normal. Not that it really matters, just depends on what you want it to look like. So yeah, so they'll be in a slightly different place, like the little bloom effects and stuff. But anyway, I'm gonna change this back on to the default, whatever it was. Reset brush. There we go. All right, now it's back to normal. They also have these little splatter things, you know. Yeah, just little special effects and stuff. Well, it kind of looks nice when it's by itself too. All right, after this, we're gonna kind of do a practical shading thing with some of my art. Yeah, it's cool so far. Oh, it's a big stamp. I did not expect it to be that big, but that's nice. Makes it more detailed and textured. Interesting. Like I have some that have stamps similar to this, but they're kind of small, so they're a little hard to work with sometimes. But these are huge. Yeah, it's cool. All right, and then there's also like blendy brushes or whatever. So I'm gonna blend this layer a little bit. It's cool. I mean, they aren't really meant for use right here. It's probably meant for this. It's not meant to really color it, you know, but you could. Again, you can use these brushes however you want once you get them. But I did like that, how that blended together. But anyway, all right. And then of course, you know, there's these eraser brushes. Oh, they have like salt effects. Interesting. Let's see what that looks like. I don't know if they didn't really explain this in the video, tutorial video, but maybe it's in the PDF. Oh, that is kind of cool. it's kind of like, not like a brush, but like a stampy kind of brush. But like, you know, where if you change the size, you know, you basically just change how big of a area you want to do, but not the material itself, if that makes sense. But you know, you could probably change it in here if you go to the grain thing again. So yeah, but anyway, I'm gonna push cancel on that. But that I do like that. That's kind of newer thing than the AF brushes. Interesting. Well, it says eraser. They maybe want us to use it for here. I mean, it kind of will do the same thing anyway. Because if you're using white, you know, versus the eraser, except it'll actually take it off of your layer. Ooh, I do like that though. That's kind of interesting. Let me do this one. How about we do one big layer with a big color? All right, and we put this underneath everything. Okay, I just want to see how the eraser stuff looks when we don't have so many colors on it. Oh, it is kind of cool. It looks pretty realistic. By the way, I am not getting paid for this demo or whatever. I just bought it on my own. I am not that popular of a YouTuber yet, so. That's cool. Silky soft eraser. Okay, it's like more cloudy-ish. I like that you can give it a really light touch. Interesting. It's more like a hard edge. Well, when you make it bigger, it's not really hard edge. But anyway, but yeah, that's nice. I think I did all the other ones. I didn't do. Did I? I don't remember. But anyway, it's nice effects. And again, you can always change the size of the grain inside the brushes if you want. Interesting. It really looks real though, like this one in particular. So that's cool. All right, so I'll probably have a lot of fun with that in real life application. Okay, so let's go back to my art here. The one I was working on. Here it is. Do we want to do this one? Maybe. All right. I'm just gonna do a new layer just in case I don't like it, but I probably will. So I'm just gonna do gray. Wait a minute, I'm on the erase one. Although it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't really matter. But okay. Just want to check how this looks here. I might actually add an extra texture later, but yeah. I'm kind of doing what I was like just planning to do before, in terms of how I was planning on coloring this. Well, it's not color, like I said, it's just shade. I do like that cloudy soft brush though. It's probably one of my favorites so far. I like the loosey-goosey feel of it, I guess. Yeah, it's neat. And let me do one of these little table salt eraser things. Oh yeah, that is a nice effect. You do a wash over it. Cool beans. Okay, we'll do a slightly darker thing here. It's a little too much. Again, I'm just trying it out. I don't know what I'm doing here exactly. Nice. Oh, what the heck? Did it even do a thing? Okay. I think I wasn't pressing. I don't know what I wasn't doing before, but it just wasn't working. But that's cool. Okay, and then you can always like go over it again to do a different effect. So yeah, that's cool. I like them. I don't know, AF brushes, you might have some competition. Even though I still love them, they're still good in my mind. So yep, so I will definitely be using these ones, but are they better than the AF brushes? I don't know. I think they both have good points to them. They both feel good in terms of how they, you know, quote unquote paint. But I do like the different additions that this one has, like the super huge stamps and the kind of erasy rock salt things. I think those are unique. The AF brushes does have splatter effects also. You know, so that's what they have in common too. But yeah, I'll probably have to play with it a lot more just to get a real feel about how much I like them. But so far I think they are really good. If you get them now, I believe you have to like sign up for their newsletter or something, and I got a little discount. It's like $7 off or something, which hey, isn't bad. You know, if you know you want them, then you know it's good to get, you know, just a little discount. But if you're unsure, you know, of course no one's forcing you to do anything. You can just wait. But I don't know if they're gonna have another sale or when, you know, that's up to them. But yeah, it's not like it's a video game where it might get more expensive down the line, you know. I don't know, like a pre-release thing or whatever. But you know, just do what you want. If you want them now, go ahead and get it. I do think they're worth it. For like 31 bucks, you know. And if you don't think so, that's up to you. But yeah, I like them. So anyway, that's all I wanted to really show you guys. Just wanted to get a start to see how I like them and if I feel like they compare to the AF brushes. And I think they do. Like I said, they might have some competition up in here about that. But yeah, anyway, I like both. But yeah, hope you have a great rest of your day, guys, and look forward to seeing you in another video. Peace out. Oh, let me do a little cloud effects on this part. Nice. Yeah, it's cool. Ooh, a little too big. And why does this thing keep moving? Okay. Yeah, a little too big. Alright, that's it. Texture, True Grit Texture. True Grit Texture Supply. Okay.